Lovely sound of squelchy grass. It's always nice when there's a river flowing off the fields onto your road. That gives you an indication of the steepness. Beautiful rainbow. That has got to be the smallest village hall ever. A little bit of history for you. Can I get in? Can I get out? That's what he's thinking. This is Bailey's favourite bit. So here we are in the overflow car park of the White Hart Hotel, waiting for another great adventure with Bailey and his yellow hoop. We'll make our way down to the pub first up. It's a coach house on the A4 between London and Bristol. We have a river here going down the path, which is nice, isn't it? It's a lovely clement February day. There's storm warnings and flood warnings everywhere today. And you can see why. That's a little brook. And we will start at the White Hart Hotel. It's a pub. Yep. Built in Tudor times, but we'll see that later on when we come back for a pint at the end. So we are going to head out this way. So we start off in the village of Ford, and we have two choices here. We can go right down to Slaughterford and round to the left to Biddestone. We're going to go up left to Biddestone and do a loop. Lovely pub for the summer. There's a lovely restaurant. Obviously this outdoor area. It's got 3 car parks. Little one here, little one here, and the overflow we're in. And they are very welcoming. They are happy for dog walkers and ramblers to park in their car parks, do their walk, come in with their muddy boots and frequent the pub. So that is the start. The White Hart on a beautiful February day. Single track. There are a few passing places. That is a steep incline. This is a steep incline. We find this one a little bit easier. And as always, if your dog needs to be on a lead, put them on a lead. There's no livestock or wildlife per se on this walk. We are going to cut the field on the way back, which will be through a horse field, but he doesn't mind about livestock and avoids horses. Pigs have been moved out for the winter up to the top of the hill, up at the farm, but they're not coming back until the rain stops, which could be the first of never. Round the corner, and guess what? More hill. That gives you an idea of the angle we're climbing up. Not noticeable on the camera. I've watched a few other dog walking videos, and usually the only way you can tell whether you're going uphill or downhill is listen to the narrator, hear if they're huffing and puffing. Guess what's round the bend? More hill. More hill, more rain, more water. Beautiful, beautiful Wiltshire. Absolutely amazing. A little bit of sunshine can do to your motivation. I don't know if you can see the rain coming down, but the sunshine makes a little bit of difference in the old mental mind, doesn't it? You don't care though. Labrador. Right, pretty much at the top of the hill now, and it's noted by the farm here on the corner, which also dovetails up as a caravan and motorhome club. So Toplands Farm, bungalow there, space over the top for caravans at the back. Beautiful sunshine coming out. So that's the direction to go down to Slaughterford. But we are heading up to the little village of Biddestone. It's a beautiful little village. Got a lovely church, lovely cemetery. We'll show you that on the way. Probably time to explain why we do this route in this order. We start at the pub because we can finish at the pub. We also means we finish at the river, which means we can rinse down if needed. Most of this walk is, I think nearly all of it is tarmac, but it is relatively unmuddy compared with some of the other walks around us. So Bailey is good as gold with traffic. That's why I went quiet there. I thought I could hear a car. He knows the command hup means get up onto the verge. That's why he's not on a lead. But the Roads themselves are really, really quiet. Tractors, obviously. We're in the countryside of Wiltshire. And the occasional car. But as I say, he's got his bright yellow hoop. I'm wearing a bright yellow jacket. And we walk down the middle of the road anyway, so car's never going to run us over. But as you see, he's my pack leader making his way. Bells, up! That's a good boy. Oh, another fellow dog walker. Won't film them. You can hear the dog in the back. They're possibly going to stop at the corner here at the top. Ooh! The rain has stopped. Because the sun is shining, we have a beautiful rainbow. We're under the flight path here into Bristol Airport, but it seems only for EasyJet. Never seen anything other than the orange and white airplanes fly over. If you listen carefully, sometimes they thrust down just as they get to us. Right, this is the top of the incline for this part of the journey. Now with all of this, there are public footpaths across the fields, but as you can see, they're not really fields, they're lakes at the moment, which is why we don't do them. This is Slaughterford Road we're on. The footpath there to the right comes out on Ham Lane, which will take you back into Biddestone or down to Slaughterford. We'll be there in a minute. Meanwhile, beautiful rainbow. That's nice. You can let me overtake? Nope. Pack leader is pack leader. First week of February. Snowdrops have been out for about 3 weeks now. That's the way back. A little bit of history for you. Route choice today. When we get to the bottom of the rainbow, turn right into Biddestone. So we're heading into the village, past the barn. Got some beautiful old buildings here. The old cottages. Bailey up! Bailey up! Sometimes you do have to stay off the road. There's some old buildings like 1800 or 1799. Beautiful. Stick, stick, go! That has got to be the smallest village hall ever, hasn't it? Tiny. More water. Have to walk on the road so the traffic don't splash you and the dog. Don't ask me how I know. Straw bales. Doesn't quite work the same as hay bales. There you go. I think we'll stop filming because Barney's here. Right, the church at Biddestone. That's 1807, 1790. We always like to spot the old graves in any old church. Let's see what's inside. Right, 1798, 1848, Churchwarden's message. 1845, 1796 I think that is. Wow, somebody lived to 92 years of age there, 1852. So, I've not been able to work out how to get the lights on up the front here. But we won't go up the front anyway because we're not in the choir. Stonework is absolutely marvellous. And one dog that's normally as good as gold has just dropped his toys by way of protest. Right, 1761 we've got there. Oh, hello, we've got 1652 and 1682. I think these might be our oldest ones. Biddestone sawmills, as was. It's now a private dwelling, but look at that for a hedge. He's done a cracking job. You can see at the back, it's just the same. At the front, the same. He's got the twisted willow at the top. Absolutely glorious. You'll get to see the look of his wall here. So this is all this first third here, all rebuilt last week. But if I zoom in, you can see just how good that hedgerow is. Isn't that lovely? And we've got crocuses, crocus, lots of crocus. We've got crocus plants in multiples. Right, we have left Biddestone. We're heading out to Slaughterford. Got some wonderful views out here over towards Weavern and Weavern Lane. And Captain Go-Slow is on the move. Right, not sure if I've just seen a deer or a dog in that field, but we often look out over here. Now, this is a farmer's field, so we can't really go into it. But we have some spectacular pictures of the sunset. Alrighty, downhill. Pick up some pace here. Right, not sure if that's flooded or just the reflection of the sunlight on the huge puddles. Doesn't bode well either way. Right, footpath to the right here. This is the one that brings you back out to the corner on Slaughterford Road. It's absolutely beautiful in the summer. An absolute car crash during the winter, so we'll avoid it. It's always nice when there's a river flowing off the fields onto your road. It's lovely, isn't it? Come back here during the summer and refilm, because at the moment I don't think anybody's convinced this is a wonderful dog walk. Me and Bailey like it. Ooh, we are heading into blue skies and sunshine, which will be nice, won't it? For a Labrador that likes water, he's paused because he's seen the roads flooded. What I will say about Bailey, he seems to see everything in 4D. You won't notice it here as much, but on rocky terrain he seems to find the smoothest path through. We're going to skirt the edge of the water, look. So normally if you follow him you have found the optimum route. Right, the start of the great descent into Slaughterford. Now we normally do this route in reverse and it's a bit of a steep hill. It's a proper sweat buster, but going down is just as hard on the ankles and the knees, but coming up it's tough on the ankles and absolutely on the hamstrings and the calves. But we've got to negotiate the river first. Look at that. That tells you how much rain we've had in the last 2 days, because that was dry 2 days ago, completely dry. Right, baby, show me the way. Good luck. Okay, so that tells you a little bit about the steepness of what we're about to do. 20% incline. 1 in 5. Lovely. That is the Bybrook Valley. Right, the distant sound of a farm machine as we look down the Bybrook Valley, and right up in the corner there is one of our favourite meadows to go and just chillax in the summer though, not in the winter obviously. I love cameras, don't know what we would do without them, but they don't show you just how steep the inclines are, and as you can tell from my breath, we're going downhill. Got away with that one. He just dropped what we call red stick. It nearly rolled all the way down here. Right, this is definitely where the 20% is, as we make our way down into the Bybrook Valley and into the very picturesque village of Slaughterford and its paper mills, which we'll show you in a moment. More downhill to what is our absolute favourite corner of the planet. Not that I've visited that many places, but this corner here, when in reverse, right here on the corner, is so steep. I mean, the whole incline is 20%, but that has got to be something ridiculous. You can't tell on here, but if you ever walk up here, You'll remember me for that. That's a proper YouTube dog, that is. He stops when you stop to film. I wanted to show the incline there because that is our favourite corner. We do like that. Biddestone, as you can see, is 1¼ miles back down that way, and across the other side where that big tree is, that is your way into the Bybrook Valley. Really nice in the summer, really muddy in the winter. We don't go there in the winter. And then that is the river Bybrook, which made the valley famous for textiles and paper. So Castle Combe was textiles, Slaughterford was a combination of textiles, paper and grain for milling, all powered by water mills, which we'll see a couple on the way here. More downhill into Slaughterford, which means if you do this loop in reverse, more uphill coming out of Slaughterford, and then this, which is an absolutely beautiful house on the corner here. So quiet and tranquil. Now you can go straight on here, goes around the bend, but we're going to go through the byway. It does take you right the way through the old Slaughterford paper mill. You've got the old brick part of the bridge, the flowing water that would have powered the mill, being channeled along the brickwork here. You see a galleyway across the top, and you've got all the arches, look. What's the history of that? Old arched door there, metalwork here. It's been filled in with what looks like probably asbestos. And then right in front of us, very Brunel-ish arches, but then we are in Brunel country. IK Brunel isn't by Kingdom Brunel, but all the railways along here. There's still his office in Chippenham, and obviously the offices in Swindon, all the way up to 1920. And then the old buildings have been turned into industrial units, and clearly this house has been rebuilt. And we're going to go around the outside. Public footpath here. We'll turn right. And then that brings you into a very small and pretty village of Slaughterford. And it's a very swollen river today, I suspect. We'll have a look at that in a moment. And then things you don't often see, and I didn't quite catch it, but a deer on the road. He's just gone across the background there. Okay, so Captain Excitable is working out where the deer came from. But he was on this road, right where I am right now. I was about to film the river, but he's gone across that field there. So that's Bailey occupied for the next 5 minutes. He loves the smell of deer, but I've never seen the river this swollen, which might mean that Castle Combe upstream is already flooded. He's still on the scent. He'll be occupied for 2-3 minutes, but the river, normally you can see the bottom. Not today. He is well annoyed. He's well annoyed that he didn't see it. Don't you just love it when the deer will exercise your dog for you? Doesn't normally have this kind of pace. Oh, look at how boggy that is. Coming back to tell me he can't find it. He's going to go back over the bridge, I think. Has he given up? He's given up. That's it. We're off. Can't find him, Dad. Right, we're not going this way, but Ragmill Wood is this way. A lot of people park here and walk along that way. Very muddy, but you'll go down to the Rag Mill, which was one of the big ones at Slaughterford. We're going it this way, which is why Captain Chunky's already on his way. He's spotted a person, so he's giving it the old guard duty jobby. So this is the pretty village of Slaughterford, the bottom of it. We'll walk all the way through to the middle of it. Right, in the summer we'll do this walk again, but we'll show you both churches, the one in Slaughterford and the one in Biddestone, because it is quite interesting to see the inside of a church, especially the small village ones. This is the old brewery on the corner, and maybe I'll give you a bit more detail on what you can see in the summer. If you come down here, it is glorious in the summer, not so much in the winter. There you go, the old brewery. Beautiful. Stick, stick, go! Not a bad view. What goes down must come back up. The river on the road again. Telephone box, and then we come up to a couple of farms. We're actually going to cross the field here that's just behind this telephone box. But the public footpath is from the corner, so that's where we will head off to. Oh, horses are over there in the far corner. They quite often are up here against the fence, waiting to say hello. Super friendly horses. He doesn't do horses though. Not interested in any livestock, but horses in particular, he is not in their fan club since one followed him. I won't say chase because that's a bit exaggerating, but did definitely follow. Look at this for a proper river. That's how you know you're in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in February, because you've got a river coming down the road. Lovely. Okay, from here you can go up the farm, back up towards Ford and Gillyhill. This way will take you straight back to up the hill and down the hill on the road back to the pub. We're going to try and go across the field and around the river, see if it's flooded. Right, good news for Bailey. The gate is open, and that obviously means that the horse is not in the field today. Lovely sound of squelchy grass. That's gorgeous, isn't it? Right, we head over towards those two pylons and then turn right, go round. You get a really good indication of just how hilly it is along here, if you didn't get it from my breath. But we've got some lovely little villages around here. Cullerne's up the top left there, leading over to Bath. South Wiltshire down that way, and the east of England over that way. But look at that for a hill. That's what we normally walk up and over, but we're going all the way up there. Little waggle of the tail. That might mean nothing to you, viewer, but to me, that is the, excuse the pun, that is a telltale sign that he has smelt a river. Right, this is me walking what I think is flat, and that gives you an indication of the steepness of the hills of the Bybrook Valley. The valley's obviously just coming into shot. Bottom left hand corner, just bottom left of, just slightly left of where Bailey is. You can see the river down there. Big puddles already, so we might have flooding down the bottom here. Those of you who remember your geography lessons, that's the U shape there of an oxbow lake about to form. You can actually see that piece of green in the middle is completely water bound. It's not in the summer, but obviously the river might decide to break through, leaving the oxbow. And as you can tell, Bailey dog has left me. Look, while I was talking to you about the oxbow, he's increased his pace. The gap between me and him has increased. He's off. He's now going to see whether he can find some entry and egress points, which I suspect he's not, certainly not this side of the river, because that is running really, really heavy. Mother Nature's great clear out every winter. She'll never sort out. It's a big one. We've got something over there, bird of prey probably on another bird. So that I think is a red kite. Quick scout of the river. Can I get in? Can I get out? That's what he's thinking. What are you thinking? Too much? I think it's too much this side. Should we go the other side? Stick, stick, go. Yeah, I'm training a dog. Right, those of you with motion sickness, abandon now and come back in about 45 seconds time, because once I get past this puddle here, this is the power of water. That is just a normal river, albeit swollen, and then when you channel it through a narrow area, power is absolutely immense. Sluicegate to control it. That is what powered the mills, that powered the whole of this valley and made it so important. Right, slip hazard here, so I'm definitely tuning out. Right, meanwhile, the captain has gone to his favourite spot where he usually goes in. There's two spots he normally goes in. This is one of them. I think it's because the current takes, well, you can see where the current goes down the middle, leaving this bit quite easy to get in and out of. Little eddy there though. That's nice. God, it's slippy out here. I'm going to stay away from the bank a little bit because it is a bit slippy. What are you thinking? You think you're going in or not? You going in? So his communication style is normally he'll drop those down if he wants to go in. You going in? You going in? Yeah. Oh. Yellow hoop upstream so that he can catch that on the bounce. And then back in. And for those of you who want to do some trolling about a swollen river, blah blah blah, he's 7. Been coming here for 6 years. He knows the current. You can see an eddy there. You can see the main current in the middle. He knows on the inside here he can get all the way down and he can get out into this bay in the corner here where the current misses it. And you saw at the beginning, he'll put the sticks down if he wants to go in. He'll pick them up if he doesn't. Job done. Going again, are we? Right, so we went in 5 times. And then he's got his stick and disappeared down the other end. So he's had enough of this end. And we normally stop here because just before Christmas there was a tree that had been fallen here, really uniquely, by a beaver. Now, we've not seen beavers along this bit of the Bybrook. There are reports of beavers further up, and they were released on the River Avon, which is only 20 miles away, so it's not impossible for them to move down here, but they've not yet been spotted. They are, I believe, nocturnal. I'm not sure whether he wants to eat grass or go in, so we'll wait for a signal from him. I suspect he's just eating grass. And then just around the corner here, we have a fallen tree. But how has it fallen? Look at that. The distinctive chew marks of a beaver. Not that he cares about beavers. And in the background you probably just heard an EasyJet thrusting up, or thrusting back I think, as it comes into the Bristol flight path. So look back on the river as it flows away from us. A little look at some of the village area. We have got some famous locals that live nearby here. I won't name them, but that is the end of that road there where you've just seen the car. There's a little bit of road walking along here as we go back to the pub, and then we are done. Almost. Right, as we come up to the Union Jack, Union flag, it's quite a busy road this, with traffic coming from behind, and you need your dog on a lead. All well trained. Bailey, hop, hop. So the White Hart is of course an old coach house. We will go in, have a pint, and maybe dry out. Wait. Three of my favourite things.
They restarted the calendar, that's why we have like 2,000.
This is Bailey's favourite bit. Getting a blow dry. And a biscuit. I'll stop filming now while I swap hands.